Good morning, Graz. Good to be back here. I have to do this with my little computer here. And when I heard the theme of today, I was kind of lost. I thought, enlightenment. Shit, big word. I'm not sure if I can enlighten anybody, I don't think so. But it reminded me of a question I asked myself this summer when I was observing the refugee crisis in Europe, and I, like most people, I didn't really know what to do with it, what I could help, or I don't know. I'm a strong believer that if you're able to cast light on a situation, then energy will follow attention. So if you're able to bring the attention of a country, of the media, to a certain subject, you might be able to change something there. Or if you maybe get European or German-speaking media to it, then you will be able to force the people in your own country to do something. So sometimes you have to go internationally first. The problem we had in Austria was back then called Traiskirchen. That became the symbol for the refugee crisis, like Calais in France. It was a very overpopulated refugee camp that became this symbol. We were, like, for months, we only heard about Traiskirchen, and nothing really changed there. They had, like, the double population it was built for. And I was often there, tried to donate, to bring things there, to donate money and so on. But nothing really changed. And I think in times like this, you maybe have to, next to action, you also have to set big signs sometimes. So I asked myself if I can change something there. And then I read this line from my old professor. He said, "Artists open doors that no one else can see." And I kind of like that. I think that's what I unconsciously do in my work, where I search for doors and possibilities to connect people, to connect things. And for this problem, my weapon of choice was the music charts. I decided to play the media at its own game. Because the music charts is like a fixed thing in the media landscape. You cannot really ignore, if a single or an album does good in the music charts, you will not be able to ignore it in the media. You will find it in the newspaper, you'll find it in television. Radio has to play the single, or at least, I don't know, has some coverage about it. And then there are the music charts every week in different formats, so that was kind of my weapon of choice. But I think I found the door, but what to do with it then? So another protest songs or get some famous artists to do something. I thought that's kind of weird. And so I took it from real life, where in every conflict, and I felt like hardened fronts, it was not really possible to talk to anybody. Whenever the subject came to refugees, everybody was like, "You're the good one, the bad one, you lie, or right or left or whatever." But it was not really possible to talk to people anymore. As soon as they heard refugees, it was whoosh, they shut down, and that was it. You couldn't talk to people anymore. So I thought we need kind of a reset button, something where you find a solution that people start to listen again, to develop some empathy again, and then you might have a possibility to reach them. So in real life, people who repeat themselves, who get louder than other people, usually they cannot contribute a lot to the solution of a problem. So usually it's the people that are calm, that are more like, they stand more in their own shoes, they're not as nervous as I'm today, but that can really help to solve a problem. And so then I realized what I had to do. I thought we need some silence there. And I developed this 60 seconds of silence called Schweigeminute, Traiskirchen. which is the German word for the minute of silence. And then it all got really, it went really fast. We uploaded it on all the download platforms, you name it, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. After 3 days, we had everything set, album artwork. Over the weekend, everything was ready. And I called a friend who has a music label in Vienna. They immediately were in. They decided to publish it without any earnings. And my concept was to not only to donate the net earnings, but I also said from the beginning I would donate 100%. So whatever spent in the download platforms, I will bring immediately and pre-finance to the refugees in Traiskirchen. Whenever the week the charts are published, I'll bring the money there. So that meant, of course, I had to pay like 25 to 35% back in the pot. But that was worth it, and also it was like challenging the people a little bit, because, for example, the German-speaking media, they often ask me, but that could be really expensive for you, or maybe you could get bankrupt around that, and I said, yeah, I hope so. So test me. So I had to get the message out there. Had just a single post where I could promise people something. Through the music charts, I promised them, you will be heard. I promise you, find 200 people, so a little more than are here today, like people in this room. You all download a song today, and it will be in the charts already. Austria is a small country, the music business is really down. So only the people today in this room could immediately push a song in the charts within a minute or so. So, and I said, and if we find 2,000, this will be a #1 hit in Austria. And it will be called Schweigeminute Traiskirchen. And there people suddenly understood, yeah, of course, 2,000, that's not a number in the internet if something goes viral. And what happened next was really beyond. I think the same day we had like 400 shares, 4 or 5 articles. The Fresh Press agency met me on Naschmarkt in Vienna. Lining up there was the Spanish people. I was with the German press agency on the phone, and so on. We had like 400 shares, I think, from the first posting. And in the same night, in the iTunes download charts that are more a trend, actually, we got #1 in the downloads. And that attracted a lot of attention, a lot of TV. There was a holiday where we booked an audio studio in Vienna, and I was talking to 40+ radio stations per day. So I was just sitting there, and every 15 minutes another radio station would call in, made live interviews. I told the whole story, more in detail than today, about Traiskirchen, what happened there. I told them that people had to live in tents, that their babies were born outside, and so on and so on. So that created a lot of pressure within my own country, because then we were already talking to the to the German media. And yeah, well, then we had like live discussions on TV, could raise some other inconvenient questions, and so on. So we had actually media coverage in 65 countries within a week or so. It's quite a lot, 65. It doesn't sound so big like the TED numbers before, but 65 countries is quite a lot. It was heard in 28 languages, and 3,000 articles were written about the project. That is an average of 30 articles a day in this time. Here I collected just a few logos for you. We have BBC World, of course, 200 million listeners plus UK. We had NPR radio in the United States. The United States was pretty strong actually in the beginning over Twitter. It spread out in the States first and then in Germany. And for example, NPR radio, they have like 26 million listeners. So that was within the first days. Then, of course, in Austria, in Germany, the third day we had already the entire German-speaking online media, all the websites of the quality press in Germany, and the president, the chancellor, and the vice chancellor of Austria visited Traiskirchen actually on day 3. And of course, I was tempted to show you a lot of articles now and video clips, but I just skipped it. And I just brought you the only one that surprised me personally, because we even made it to text TV. That teletext that I didn't have on the map when I thought, oh yeah, music charts you found everywhere, and then suddenly somebody sent me this photo from his TV, and I was like, wow, okay, we really made it even to the grandfather of digital media. So I was kind of impressed there. And then people already started to call it the summer hit 2015, and it was all going really fast. So in preparation of what I had in mind, I just thought we're still starting, right? We could do so much more. Let's use this momentum for something. I mean, they already emptied the camp, reduced the population there to half, not only in a good way, but it was moving there. And I thought, but this momentum, we have to use it. There's still so much interviews and stuff. So I tried to use the momentum for different things as well. And Summer Hit needs a music video, right, of course. So we animated the whole thing and made 60 seconds of silence in, of course, all the high definition things and all the TV standards and so on. Sent it out there and used exactly that. The first time here in Graz, actually, where there's one music festival. It's called the Nuke Festival, where there are 25,000 mostly very young people, and they actually, without preparation, just in the night, we called them. I said they would come there. I have a video. Can they organize something? It was like 3 o'clock in the morning or so. He said, yeah, of course, we will do this, but I don't know, I haven't slept in days. I'll call you back tomorrow. So, okay. So the next day he called me and said, listen, I'll have all the artists on stage. Stella will play later, and we will fit in 10 minutes, and we just silenced the Nuke in Graz with 25,000 people there, with all artists on stage, Seed, Bilderbuch, Wander, you name it. And it was impressive to feel this there, because it was young people. They were partying since hours already, drunk, of course, whatever they did there. And so we had to, I don't know, we had to calm them down before. I had to show them what we're doing there. So they played the speech of Charlie Chaplin from The Great Dictator, the full 4-minute speech with strong soundtrack music behind and so on, and built this moment up. We slowly walked on stage, and the audience calmed down. They totally didn't understand what's happening, and then suddenly they started to cheer for Charlie Chaplin as the dictator, and really, it was totally a strong moment and a really goosebump moment. And then when everything was ready, we held this minute of silence there with 25,000, and it was a very strong moment, and I felt very happy that we even had this live moment now with the minute of silence. And used this exactly at the first press conference, where we invited all the Austrian media, because we still didn't have a lot of coverage in Austria. And we just decided to show them and make some pressure on them, again, playing them at their own game, show them what's happening internationally. So I got a company in Vienna, it's called Observer. They can provide these services worldwide with social media, with online print, and so on, and had an expert from them telling the Austrian media what the international media is writing about Schweigeminute, so that they at home in Austria also cannot really ignore it anymore. Also announced that Schweigeminute at this day was officially #1 hit in the Austrian top 40, in the official sales charts in Austria. And also at the same time, we handed over the first check with donations. Was back then was 6,674 euros that we paid right away. And that was very important, really, because there the Austrian media kind of woke up, and suddenly we had a lot of coverage. We had a lot of airtime, TV, private TV, national TV, and so on. Except the radio, that was on board from the beginning. The radio, they really liked it, and they talked about it, played it, and so on from the very beginning. So no offense there. But then, again, I thought, what else can we do now with this momentum, with this energy? And a lot of things happened within this week. Suddenly, people were not talking about Traiskirchen anymore. Suddenly, people were talking about Hungary, right? And what's happening there. And suddenly, we were talking about fences in Europe. And I see I have not much time left, so I will show you. Just to show people that it's not that dangerous and you will not be arrested in Hungary if you help some kids and their families. But we had some time left, so I took them sightseeing in Vienna. We went to Graben, took some photos there just to, again, to play with social media and show them, do these people really look that dangerous like they do at the borderlines when you take photos in the city? I have to do this really fast now. Live in the TV, late night shows. And then we went to Heldenplatz in Vienna and did the Schweigeminute with 150,000 people at the Voices for Refugees, Squares for Heroes. Went to Munich, Königsplatz, 25,000 people. And this video of the minute of silence would be the very last thing in my little talk, and I would invite everybody of you to stand if you will, and hold this minute of silence from Munich together with me.
Wir sind bereit, wenn ihr es seid. Dankeschön.
Thank you.